Hey everybody, welcome back to another Dice Tower review. My name is Z Garcia.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Mike Delisio.
Today we're going to be taking a look at Don't Go In There. This is a little card drafting, ghost dodging, spooky, kind of tongue-in-cheek, spooky little game in which you are trying to avoid curses. You're going to be taking those because, well, you, like a dummy, walked into a cursed house, mansion, I guess. You're in there now. You're going to take some curses, but you want to take the fewest ones. And again, it's sort of a push your luck drafting game. I'm going to go ahead and give you a look at how this all functions. It's a pretty straightforward game. We'll come on back and we'll tell you what we think of this one. Here we go. To set up the game, each player is going to select a color. Here we've got 4 players with these colors. Everybody also gets a player screen here, which I'll just have folded face down over here for now, with some information I'll go over in 1 second. We're going to put out the 3 locations on either side. They are double-sided. And then we're going to make the deck of cards we'll be playing with. So for example, with 4 players, we're going to select 7 types of cards, shuffle them all up together into a deck, and then remove 8 cards. I've already done that. There are other decks that are not being played with here, which are, these. The amulets are not in play. These clocks are not in play. The creepy dolls, and so on. All right? So, again, there are enough cards that you won't be using them all at the same time. Then you are ready to begin. There's also this dice tower over here that you're going to be rolling dice down into it, but I'm going to push that aside a little bit so that I can put cards right here above this location. All right, we are good to go. Shuffle these up some more and then reveal 3 at each one of these. The cards are going to, again, come from different sets. You do need to pay attention that sometimes the card will go face down, so we'll go ahead and do that. But normally, they go face up in that location, and then you are ready to start. So here's what's going on in the game. Here's what we are doing. Whoever has the fewest curses at the end of the game, which are represented by that creepy little hand, whoever has the fewest of those is going to win, all right? At the end of the game, whoever has the most ghosts is going to get 1 curse per 2 ghosts that they have, and the ghosts are over here. They come in 1s and 2s and even 5s over here. You can make change, of course, as needed. And that's largely it. There's also here, it tells you that the flashlight ignores 1 green die, that one of those little spooky ghosts, and it explains what dispelling means, turning something face down. So starting from a start player, and we'll just give that to this player over here, they are going to select one of their meeples and place it in one of these locations on any of the boards that are in play. The closer you go to the front, the earlier you'll have a pick at one of these cards, but the fewer ghosts you'll be able to avoid, i.e. the fewer flashlights you'll have. So this player's going to go first. They're going to go right here. Then the next player will go, and you just continue doing that until a location gets 3 characters. As soon as that happens, let's say this player over here is goes there, but then this player decides to go right here. As soon as that happens, we are going to stop and we are going to resolve that location. Now, to be fair, the secret passage here does have an ability that say, place meeple to peek, reveal when resolving the secret passage, meaning when each one of these players went here, they would have been able to peek at this card. All right? We're going to ignore that for right now, and in fact, I'll go ahead and turn it face up. Each of these does have a little ability, and I'll show you what they do in 1 second. So we go ahead and reveal that, and now we are ready to resolve the secret passage. The first thing we do is count how many dice are at the tops of the cards here, and we roll that many into the dice tower. So in this case, I'm rolling 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. Whoever is the player who played the third one in here will grab all these, and they will roll them. And that's how many ghosts everyone is contending with. In this case, just 2. These 2 here got rolled. The first player here has a single flashlight, so they will take 1 ghost. The white player here has 2 and orange has 3. They're fine, no ghosts. Because again, every one of those flashlights negates a ghost rolled on the dice. And then we take these cards, starting with green, who will take a look at all these and say, okay, I'm going to take this one. Green takes that, puts that face up in front of themselves. Then white will do so, and white's going to take this one. And then orange will do so, and orange will take that one. You just keep that face up in front of yourself. Once that's done, we're going to flip over the location to the other side, and populate that location again, and then continue from the player who would have been next. So the one who triggered that scoring was green, so ideally then you want to take this and, you can put it in front of the player who would be next so that you don't forget your place. We replenish this location, and we keep doing this until all of the cards have run out. At that point, we do any at game end scoring, such as seen on the black cat here with that red banner. And then again, you see who has the most ghosts. They get some more curses from that, and we figure out who has the fewest curses. So, a couple of things about these locations. Let me just go ahead and go through them, and then I'll show you some of these abilities. Secret passage I've already explained, and then on the back of that is the library, which is, if you go over here, you get a ghost. If you take that one, I should say. If you take that one, you lose a ghost. But the library specifically says that the order of cards has to be placed in ascending order. So you're going to, if you get the highest card, you get to give up a ghost also. If you take the lowest, unfortunately, it comes with a ghost. We've got over here the hallway. The player resolving the hallway can change a die result on one of the dice they rolled. And then on the other side, we've got the basement, which is the player resolving the basement can re-roll the dice once. Re-roll them all. And then over here, the nursery. This spot, if you place your worker there, you give up a ghost. On this side, if you go to that location and you want to be first, you definitely want to be first, then you take a ghost from that. Very simple, very straightforward. The abilities on these cards, I'm not going to go through them all, but they're going to basically either do something at game end or when you have a set of these cards. So for example, Holy Water over here has a 2 and shows 2 little cards right there. And then colon, discard half your ghosts, rounded down. As soon as I have 2 of these, I can trigger that ability. Discard half my ghosts, round it down. And then these 2 can be triggered again. The music box over here, for example, says at game end, most curses on music boxes dispel 2 music boxes. So if I have the most of these, I can take 2 of them, the 2 worst, and flip them face down. And again, these are the curses. They're not always 1. They can certainly be different numbers. The mirror over here, when you take the card, you have to take a ghost, but if you get 3 mirrors, you dispel 3 mirrors, meaning you can, if you make it up to 3, you get rid of them all. You gain another 3, you can get rid of them all. If you are stuck with 2, you're stuck with the values. Plus, you've been taking those ghosts. Black cat over here, the cat says at game end, if you end up with 9 or fewer ghosts, you get to dispel all but 1 of the cats. So that's another thing to shoot for there. And then these, which are some of my favorites, are the twins. These are the same kind of card. They're just different twins. And if you have both identical twins, then you get to dispel them. So you need to end up with both of the exact same card, and then you get to flip those face down, and the curses won't count against you. So there you go. Again, there's a variety of special effects, a variety of locations, as you can see here. But that's pretty much the game. Run that deck out, try to have the fewest of those curses, and you win the whole thing. All right, there you go. So Don't Go In There was, it's a game from the same company that put out Canvas, which was, I think, one of the first things that captivated some of us. Definitely, Mike was aware of it. I was sort of aware of it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. They do really neat looking and cool packages, very approachable games. So I was curious about it from that point of view. I also like the spooky vibe here.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of games that feel like they're perfect for Halloween.
Yeah.
That's sort of like, ooh, tongue-in-cheek spooky, like Halloween scary, not actually scary, right?
Right, not
and
horror.
I think this game is like Halloween scary,
It is.
Right, it definitely has kind of that instant nostalgia kind of feel. With the artwork, it has that little bit of, it's kind of cartoony, so draws into dressing up for Halloween.
Yes.
Don't Go In There, the creepy house on the hill, things like that. It definitely plays into that. And also, I think the toy factor also of the dice tower in the box kind of feels that Halloween-y too. You know what I mean? It's a little bit, kind of brings that fun party atmosphere. I'm not saying this is a party game at all. I'm saying that it has that festive kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to kind of pull off the scary but slightly humorous tone, and it does seem to be hard to do that. They do a good job with it here. I mean, it's definitely got the spooky vibe, but you're not really, supposed to be scared,
Right. And the game is not funny.
Like, none of it is really sort of puns or jokey or anything, you know. I just think, again, it's lighthearted.
Right.
So it manages to not actually feel intimidating or scary.
Sure.
It's just
Right.
silly humor, you know, good fun. Mechanically, I was unsure where I was going to come down on this one upon reading the rules and finding out how the game worked.
Okay.
I thought, it's going to be some sort of take that style card game. You know, a lot of games will default to that, it seems, if they are going for this, ooh, don't go in there, gotcha.
Right.
That's not really it. You're competing with other players with this kind of bidding system, you know, of I'm willing to take more ghosts, which might hurt me, might not, to take an earlier card, to pick first. That's really it. That's sort of main interaction with the players. And then, of course, once you've got some cards, you need to figure out which ones am I pursuing and why, and which ones can I, you know, what do they call it? Just flip them face down, basically, you know, get rid of them. The cards you're shuffling up, of course, will change up what you're taking, what you're going for. But I thought the interaction and mechanically, this was surprising to me. I liked this, and there was more. It's not, you know, ingenious, but it's more robust and cleverer than I thought it was going to be.
And more unique in that as well. And I think what I was really impressed with was the uniqueness of the different decks. You know, when you, in the beginning, when you're choosing your, and again, I don't know what they're called, they're not factions, obviously, but the which groups of decks you're going to shuffle in to make the main deck, you really get a lot of personality out of that.
Yeah.
You know, there was a couple that did have that take that, and it was, maybe I don't love those. And there was a couple that's like, only one, you get all or nothing, that kind of feeling, you know? And I was like, ooh, that's a different play style. So they really do have a different play style, which leads to different players pursuing different strategies in a very light game at the same time. You know, you didn't feel like you were weighed down by these strategies either.
Right. What they did well, I think, is they set up a easy to understand framework, right, of basically the worker placement, the kind of the priority of, do I want to go first, do I want to go last, the third one there kind of triggers the thing. That's very easy to understand, but it's versatile, and it allows you to bring in these different kinds of decks so that if you want more of a heavily interactive, in your face, take that experience, you can do that. If you want it to be a little bit less confrontational, a little bit more set collecty, you can kind of go with that way too. So it's an easy to understand structure, and push your luck, I think, is just something that is, it's fun to do.
And it's such a great balance of push your luck where, you know, it's push your luck without a bust. You know, and the bust is the worst case is you get last, you get too many ghosts and it maybe triggers into something else, or
like end a game though normally. You know,
exactly. You're going to get a card.
You don't feel kicked down in the middle of the game.
No.
Yes. No. You can still recover from it, or maybe adjust your strategy. There's time, but you're still going to get a card. You know, and I like that. I like that it's push your luck, but more like push your chances kind of thing. You know, like there just has that flexibility and kind of that angst that comes with it, but it's not debilitating or game ruining.
Yeah, I do also like that it's basically open information. You can see what the other players' cards are. You can see what they're going for. It doesn't necessarily, I didn't find that it led to like quote unquote hate drafting, but what it did lead to was some kind of fun stuff where I know that Camilla wants this card. I want another one there too, but I'm going to go there to try to push her to go first. You know what I mean? Well, maybe I don't even want to go first. Those types of little things are fun.
It was it was more interactive than I thought. And again, it's not through card, you know, gotcha, take that type of activities, which was refreshing to me. I thought that, the more cards we have, and again, it's funny how you say, no matter what happens, you get to have a card. You don't really want cards in this game. Like, you don't. I really want any cards. You just mechanically have to take cards. And once you've got some, normally based on which cards it is, you want more. So that you can then have, you know, if I've got 3 of these, I get to turn them all face down. Well, you don't want 1 or 2. Once you've got 1, you better get that second, and then you're watching like a hawk for any location to get a third, and you're like, I'm in there. Even the first spot, because you want that card. I don't care about the ghosts. So, it's nicely interactive. It moves along at a nice clip. It's got the dice tower with the fun dice, which is gimmicky. Yes, absolutely. The glow in the dark, which I hadn't mentioned.
It's so cool.
It's such a gimmick, but it's a nice point of action. And I mean that like kinetic action. Like you get to, once we're about to resolve a place, grab dice, throw them in the thing, and see, ooh, how many ghosts you get.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just fun. So yeah, anything else you guys want to talk about?
I'm good to go to
I'm ready.
finals.
Let's go to finals.
All right.
Final four. There's three of us.
There's
three.
Go ahead,
Final.
Mike.
So, as I mentioned, this is a game I think that sets up a nice central framework, and as Z mentioned, it has a theme that is going to be appealing, I think, to a lot of people, and where it's not a game that I think I'd want to come back to over and over and over again. There is a fair amount of replayability with those different card decks. I'm coming at a 7.5. I think it's a very, very solid game. I think it will help if you are into this theme.
Yes.
And if you are, I think you mentioned something that's important. You should know there are certain games where everything you're getting is potentially negative. And this is that you're almost starting with negative cards to begin with. And at first I was thrown off by that, but then I realized that's just really the hook. I mean, you're going to eventually turn those over and get them so they don't count. So just know going in that you may be stuck with 3 or 4 negative cards in front of you at the beginning, and you stick with it. It'll get better. Solid game, nice production. I think the art is good, so 7.5 for me.
I'm going to come in a little higher, an 8. And I really think I'm a sucker for games that serve holidays. You know, like have that nostalgic game that it's like every Christmas I play this. This would definitely be one of those. Every Halloween I look forward, every October I look forward to playing this game and just playing the heck out of it that month. And then maybe it sits on the shelf for the rest of the year unless I have that, you know, hankering or something like that. But so I think that definitely boosts this up for me. I really did not expect to love the gameplay. Again, expecting the hate draft, expecting just kind of, I don't like that feeling of stuck, you know, and just collecting negative things. It's like, who gets hurt the worst? That's the one that wins, you know, at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And it didn't give me that feeling at all. I think they nailed the play time. You know, it didn't overstay its welcome. By the end, I was ready for it to be done, that game of it, but it didn't drag either.
Right.
I think they really nailed that play time. The one thing that holds it back for me to going into that seal of excellence is I do have some component concerns. As soon as we finished playing this, I was immediately on Thingiverse and be like, has somebody designed a 3D, like a better quality insert for this?
Yeah.
The dice tower works very, very well. But storing the game back in is kind of cumbersome, and the plastic's already wearing kind of thin, and there's some concerns with it, you know. So I do have longevity concerns with that, and hopefully someone will design something and 3D print it or something. But again, judging the game that you get, I do have concerns. So that holds me back from that seal of excellence, but absolutely recommend it. And this is one that I do see myself bringing and getting excited about. Not just, oh, it's the Halloween game, I need to play this, but getting excited. Oh, cool, I can bring that game out. I look forward to this one.
Yeah, that's very close to my thoughts, actually. I'm also coming in at an 8. Again, wasn't sure what to expect, and I agree with you. The componentry is one of the things that was going to hold it back for me. The boards to add on to the plastic insert, which is it's kind of mangled a little. The boards are very warped in this as well. There's only those 3, but they're very curved, very warped. I do like that this feels like the kind of game, not just the holiday thing, but there's enough decks in here that I feel like families are going to find which 4 or 5 or whatever are the ones they like.
Right.
And then that will be their version of the game.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the other cards will stay in the box.
Yeah.
And that's the game they like. They like it with the twins and the scary thing and the whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the ones they enjoy. And so family time with this game will be that specific combination. You know, we as gamers often worry about replayability. Can you modify it? Every time I play, I never want to come back to the same experience. It's a weird gamer fascination.
Right. Yeah.
Families normally, again, value that coming back to the same game. You treasure that. You want to seek it again. I think this game gives you both those things, but I could definitely see it becoming, you know, a family's favorite Halloween game, and this is the way we play in this house.
Right.
And I really like that.
Or expansion decks that bring like Christmas into it as well.
I could definitely see
Haunted
them.
chimney.
That
They
haunted
could definitely
chimney.
do that. Yeah, they can
Yes.
definitely put out
that'd be
different
fun.
holidays.
I like
Don't
it.
go in there, different holidays.
Yes, I like it.
Anyway, there you go, folks. That is Don't Go In There. That is a seal of approval from us. And that's going to do it for this one. Thanks very much. My name is Z Garcia.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Mike Delicio.
Go in there.
Just go ahead and go.
Do it. Go.
What's the worst that could happen?
Full dive.